Hello friends, and welcome to episode 4 of my series, A Ranch Hand in the City. I'm Ranch Hand Jeff, and we're touring San Francisco. Last time we did a little exploring at Land's End, where we learned a little bit about the Cliff House Restaurant, the Sutro Baths, and Fort Miley. We're leaving Land's End and heading across town. We're currently in what is known as the Richmond District. There are 11 districts within the city. We started out in the outer Richmond, where the park is, through the central Richmond and inner Richmond. Just past the Veterans Administration Hospital on the left. Couldn't see it very well. And coming up on Lincoln Park Golf Course, which means nothing to anybody, but there it is. And I've sped this up, obviously. This is about, it's got to be 7 or 8 miles across San Francisco, and it takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah, that's boring. So we're through Presidio Heights, through Pacific Heights. You can see the change in architecture. And an interesting side note, the average rent for a 735 square foot apartment in San Francisco is just over $3,300 a month. That's $3,300 a month for 735 square feet. Let that sink in. As we head down this hill, we're entering the neighborhood known as Cow Hollow. Don't ask me why. We're headed down to State Highway 101, which runs from Los Angeles to the Oregon state line, full length of California. We started at the ocean and we're going to end up at the bay. You can see the bay ahead of us there. Down at the bottom here is Lombard. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of nothing, because there's not really a lot of history right here that I'm aware of. So just enjoy the ride. Lombard, the north end of Lombard, just Highway 101, traffic signal every corner. And during commute times, forget about this street. It's ridiculous. Lombard Street. That's where we're headed. We're about to cross Van Ness Avenue, which is also Highway 101, north-south through the city, from the financial district up here to Cow Hollow, which we will cover in a future video. In fact, the next video, I believe, includes Van Ness. We've basically been skirting the northwest edge of the city. Now we climb another hill. This is the Russian Hill District. And after we sit in traffic for a few minutes, we'll start to see some pretty nice views. Some people say it's about the journey, not the destination. Well, in a city like San Francisco, the journey kind of sucks. The destinations are fairly worth it. And here we go down what is called the crookedest street in the world. I don't know if it's actually the crookedest street in the world. You can barely see straight ahead at the top of that next hill is Coit Tower. And on the right, no, you can't see it there. We'll see Alcatraz here in a minute. Coit Tower was built between 1932 and 1933 using William Hitchcock Coit's bequest to beautify the city of San Francisco. The structure was dedicated to the volunteer firemen who had died in San Francisco's 5 major fires. Although an apocryphal story claims that the tower was designed to resemble a fire hose nozzle due to Coit's affinity with the San Francisco firefighters of the day. The resemblance is strictly coincidental. There are 8 hairpin turns within this one city block of Lombard. It has a brick surface. The design, built in 1922, was intended to reduce the hill's natural 27% grade, which was too steep for most vehicles of the day. There is another crooked street in the city that has, I believe, 7 hairpins. So it's not as crooked. It's actually not as long. And it's not as famous. It's in a less desirable neighborhood, shall we say. And here we are at the bottom. In the summertime, this intersection is just packed with pedestrians. They're out in the middle of the intersection, in the crosswalks, on the corners, everywhere, taking pictures. Because when Lombard is in bloom, it's really pretty. Because every turn has like a flower bed. See a picture here in a minute. That's not actually a full bloom spring. That's just a stock photo, but that's what it looks like from the bottom. We're going to make a little loop, go around a couple blocks to get back up to the top where we came from. And we are going to head down one of the steepest streets in the city. It has been said, well, I've heard it called the steepest street in San Francisco, but it's not actually. It is the 11th steepest street. And it is Filbert Street between Union and Leavenworth. It has a 31.5% grade. Something to compare that to is your typical highway uphill, downhill is anywhere between 5 and 8% uphill or downhill on interstates. So this one's 35.5% or 31.5%. And depending on the vehicle that you're in, it can seem like the ground just disappears. The earth falls away. And this doesn't really capture how really steep it is. But it's steep. Now when it's wet, yeah, I don't even go down it. Now we're going to head for home. We'll go through the Marina District. We'll skirt the Presidio, San Francisco Presidio, or Presidio, depends on where you're from and who you ask, how that's pronounced. Straight ahead is Alcatraz Island, which I'm pretty sure everyone has heard of Alcatraz. And we'll get a better look in a future video when we go down to Fisherman's Wharf. You can see it much better. Of course, that's where the tour boats go from to Alcatraz. Pretty sure nobody saw that no left turn sign at that last corner. I won't tell if you won't. There's Survival roasting an unhoused person. That's the Presidio on the right. It used to be. We're in the Marina District. The buildings just right there to the right are actually a fort, and I can't remember which fort it's called, but warehouses and shipping berths. Now this area, if you're familiar with the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake in San Francisco, this neighborhood sustained the most damage. Mostly windows, because there's a lot of big bay windows, and you get a shaker going on, those windows can't really handle it too well. There's a park on the right. I don't know what that park is called. I originally thought it was Christie Field, but it's not. It may have been part of Christie Field originally. Here, just in a bit where we make a left, well, here now, is actually Christie Field, which was an airstrip when the Presidio was actually the Presidio. There was a runway and also a seaplane runway, which of course would be water. They didn't land in the bay, they had an actual, like a pond, that was used for seaplanes. Now it's a big park. And on nice pretty days, when there's a good wind blowing, kite flying is popular there. Doyle Drive up to Highway 1. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge there to the right as we come out of this tunnel. And we'll cover the Golden Gate Bridge in a future video. In fact, I believe next video out, we get a look at the Golden Gate Bridge. A closer look. I'd like to thank you so very much for riding along with me today. I hope you enjoyed the scenery and the little bit of history that I was able to share. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do so. And if you don't want to miss future videos, be sure to click on the bell icon so you'll be notified when a new video drops. And until next time, be well and have a great day.